She could be any little girl cherishing some time alone with her busy parents, but for Siobhan Sowry, every minute counts. At the age of 4, this toddler has already lived more than half her life, and it's a devastating condition that will soon steal her from an innocent world of swings and slippery dips.
Faster.
I was at work and Siobhan was actually at Mum and Dad's place, and the phone rang at work. It was about 9:30 in the morning. I'd only just left her an hour ago, and it was Dad, and Dad said, I don't know how to say this, but the ambulance is on its way. Siobhan has what looked like a seizure.
That was last May, and in just the blink of an eye, Siobhan's bright future was extinguished. The seizure signalled the onset of Battens disease, a little-known genetic disorder that affects just 12 Australian children.
The way I look at it is a room with 800,000 people, and you pick a partner out of that and you have a child, and out of those 800,000 people you pick the one that's got the defective gene. And then you've got another, 1 in 4 chance once you conceive. So the odds are phenomenal.
That they met and married and both unknowingly carried this gene is mind-boggling enough. But Dad Steve and Mum Beth have also had to deal with the guilt of passing on the defect to their own flesh and blood. Soon their little girl will not be able to walk or talk or even eat for herself. It's heartbreaking, but then that's the devastation that Battens unloads to the unluckiest of children.
Do both of you feel that you have been cheated in some way?
Yeah, I suppose you go through those. You go through a whole range of emotions, but yeah, you could think that sometimes, and then you think differently other times. And
her problems will get worse, her balance will get worse, her vision will get worse, her intellect, her ability to interact will get worse, her seizures will get worse, and she'll end up in a wheelchair, she'll end up not being able to feed herself, she'll end up having trouble coughing, and before she's 10, or by the time she's about 10, she'll die.
Dr Ian Andrews is a paediatric neurologist at Sydney Children's Hospital. He travels to the family's Wollongong base once a month to monitor Siobhan's progress.
This leg is a real problem in that it's really turned out. This whole, see how this whole leg's turned out?
Recently, Siobhan's condition has become more noticeable. She's now shaky on her legs and trembles constantly. And it's hard to do even the simple things like stacking blocks on a table.
Right on the top, careful. Whoa! One more. One more. Careful.
The disease is also sapping this little girl's energy, and she has to sleep nearly 15 hours a day. She's losing her sight, has the intellect of a 2-year-old, and still needs to wear nappies. But despite all of this, her family still bravely battles on, knowing what lies ahead.
Well, Siobhan is actually the second child affected in this family with this disease. She has late infantile Battens disease, and her older sister Tegan died when she was nearly 8.
I really don't know that I would have got over the death of Tegan without having Siobhan, and now that she's Battens as well, I'm not sure what the end result will bring with losing her, but I don't think about that part of it.
The strength of these extraordinary parents only becomes evident when you learn that they've been through this all before. Beth and Steve's first child, Tegan, was diagnosed at 3.5 and died in 1994, aged 7.
What made you decide to get pregnant again, knowing that both of you were carrying this risk?
I desperately needed another baby. Tegan was very, very ill, and we knew that her time was near, that she was going to be leaving us.
You first for the baby? No.
But there's some good news amongst the heartache. Middle child Ben turns 9 this year and has shown no sign of the disease that has robbed him of one sister and will soon take away another. All his spare time is spent with little Siobhan, and on the rare occasions they are apart, the 3rd grader is busy praying for a miracle cure.
And do you know what's going to happen to Siobhan?
Yeah. It's going to be in 3 or 4 years' time. She might die.
Does that make you sad?
Yep.
But you're never home free with your children. They can walk out and get hit by a car tomorrow, and tumour on the brain can just appear from nowhere. All these things can happen, so never, ever, ever take your children for granted.
Enjoy them while you have them.
Every day counts.
There you go.
Down.
There you go.
I go inside.
No wobbles?
No.
No, no, no.
It's not going to.
Hang on, I'll just
Oh.
There's your dog looking
Go
for
through
you.
our untidy garage, you're not going to shoot.
Lucky duck.
There's your dog.
Love. I rather love.
That's a good...
Don't hurt him.
Is that pizza? I'll pizza. There you go, Raph. I want to put a collar on mine.
Oh, poor Raph. You coming inside? You going to come inside? Raph. Pets his therapy dog. And
Come in there.
Oh, beautiful. What have you been doing?
I've been trying. I pin I pin on the. I don't know.
You're trying to tell me something and it's not coming out, is it?
tell Daddy you've been to see the doctors?
Were they good? Huh? Were they good?
What hand? I make the whole hand band. You have a box. I'm on this. And my box. One. Not the arm. And the eye. The old one. There's another one. See, going funny. Put Madeline's head on. Now this is the little hot heads. Where they put it on. Where they put it on. Put on Madeline's hat. It's too hard. Done. More heads. It's always funny, my mom. I like that. I put on. Lips, and foot, and a hat. The red hat. Knock them all over. Oh. How do I do this?
What about bugs?
Head bugs. I'm playing. I play bird. See, that is with something. I'm happy. I'll put my.
There you go, Siobhan. Give bugs a kiss. And a teddy bear. And a teddy bear.
No.
He's crying.
But
Give bugs another kiss.
try a box.
Wash it out, Fred.
It's no triangle. Golly.
No, for the bees.
There's again. No.
Hey, Siobhan.
Band-aid. Wow! Oh, look. And
Just grab the ball.
Incredible. God. Want to throw this ball to me? No. Throw the ball to me.
A little bit more left.
Look at the wet time. Look at the... Look at the wet time.
Catch. Siobhan, put that down for a sec. Catch. Siobhan. Catch.
Oh,
Missed it. Touch it again.
oh, it missed. I missed. It's a mess. I've been playing in the bubble.
Get a ball. Siobhan. Catch.
Oh, missed. I look at the wet. Take a photo. A man's taking a photo. Okay.
One, two, three, four. You can do a doctor set.
Fine. Hey, I tweaked you. Look at the front of the board.
I mean, that's the part that's what gets you, though. You know.
Band-aid.
Okay.
Get a ball.
Get the ball back.
Okay.
Go to the top. I tweaked you. I'm not finding the ball this time.
Remember.
Where are your band-aids, Siobhan? Where are your band-aids? Are you in there?
I don't land.
Open the box.
Look. Look, the bag is not a big. That's back. This. I got pads. Open them. There you go. I got this.
Right.
Your ball. Careful. I got Raph. Get your ball back. Yeah, from behind the pole.
Go.
Shoot.
Right, come.
Okay. So tell me how Siobhan is going at the moment.
Do you want to answer that? I'll answer it. Personally, I feel really pleased with the way that Siobhan is progressing at the age that she's at and where she should be at in the condition. I really think the rest of this year and possibly the next half of the year next year will see a lot of big changes with who she is and where she's up to with her walking and things like that. But it's because of the drugs and everything that we've hit on straight away, rather than having to go through all the different types of drugs that we went through with T and with our first daughter. She just had masses and masses of different drugs and different combinations of drugs, and that played a big part in who she was. So I believe that because Siobhan's been able to just have minimal drugs, or not in dosage wise, but the different types of drugs, she's only just on the two basically. Because she only has those two drugs, she's a lot more settled and a lot happier and able to form an identity, if you like. So,
When was she diagnosed?
Well, she had the seizure 1st of May last year. That was her first seizure, and